Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're diving into the world of AI-powered development
Right.
and really trying to answer a pretty crucial question for you. How easy is it actually to learn and use tools like Windsurf, Cursor, and Cline?
Yeah. What's the real barrier to entry?
Exactly. And what resources are out there to help you get up to speed? And maybe most importantly, what core skills should you be focusing on now to, not just keep up, but really excel?
Mm-hmm.
This is about understanding how to leverage AI, really, to build your future in tech.
Absolutely. And our mission here, it isn't really about speculating, are robots taking our jobs?
Mm.
It's much more practical.
Right.
How can you actually take Windsurf or Cursor or Cline and integrate it into your current workflow? How do you use it to become, significantly more effective?
Boost your productivity.
Boost productivity, increase your value as a developer. We're talking about enhancing your capabilities, not replacing you with machines.
Okay, so let's unpack this, starting with just how quickly can you get up and running with each one?
Yeah, the ease of adoption.
Right. If you're just starting to explore AI help in your coding, where should you probably look first?
From what we've seen, Cursor seems to offer the smoothest start.
Seems that way.
The fact that it lives right inside VS Code, which, let's face it, so many of you are already using every day, that's a massive head start.
It really is. You're not learning a brand new interface from scratch.
Exactly. With Cursor, it feels more like gradually learning its specific commands, figuring out, how to phrase your prompts to get the best results.
So it's incremental.
It's an incremental learning curve, yeah.
Yeah.
Building on familiar ground.
What's interesting, though, is the contrast with Windsurf. While it definitely aims for a user-friendly design, it is a distinct platform.
Okay.
It has its own way of managing projects, its own way of organizing AI features.
Yeah.
So there's definitely an initial investment. You have to get comfortable with a new environment, a different workflow.
A steeper climb at the start. A bit steeper, yeah. However, and this connects to the bigger picture, Windsurf seems to really shine when you get into generating entire modules or handling complex architectural tasks.
Ah, okay. So like bigger chunks of work.
Exactly. Think about manually designing and implementing the communication layer between, say, 3 microservices. That could take weeks, right? And be prone to integration errors.
Oh, yeah. Been there.
Windsurf, potentially, could generate a robust, well-tested framework for that in maybe days, allowing you to focus on the core business logic instead.
Right. So the initial effort pays off later on complex stuff.
Precisely. It's a strategic investment of your learning time for potentially massive returns on those bigger projects.
Okay. And then there's Cline. Now, from what we've gathered, getting proficient with Cline quickly looks like, the most challenging of the three.
It does seem that way.
Its core is the command line. And it really demands a pretty deep understanding of what's happening, under the hood, at the system level.
Yeah, it's not a point-and-click tool.
Not at all. This likely means it'll appeal most to developers who already have that strong foundation in low-level programming, people who aren't intimidated by intricate configurations.
Right, which that raises an important question. Who is Cline really designed for? It demands a higher level of technical skill right from the get-go. But its potential for tasks like, say, optimizing performance at a really granular level, or debugging really complex system-level issues, maybe working with specific hardware that could be unmatched.
Okay, give me an example.
Imagine debugging a performance bottleneck deep within the OS network stack. Cline's kind of granular control might let you pinpoint that issue with, surgical precision.
Something the other tools just couldn't reach.
Exactly. They operate at a higher level. So Cline's for the power user who wants that deep control and is willing to put in the effort to master it for those unique high-impact scenarios.
Got it. So let's drill down into the actual skills you need then. For Cursor, it sounds like prompt engineering is absolutely key, along with, just a really solid understanding of good coding practices generally.
Right. It's about learning how to ask the AI the right questions. Phrasing requests so it understands your intent precisely.
Like learning the right search terms, but for code generation.
Kind of, yeah. And getting relevant, accurate suggestions back. And then, crucially, you need to be able to look at the code it generates and know, is this good? Is it bad? Does it need tweaking? That validation step is vital.
Can't just blindly trust it.
Never. And if we connect this to Windsurf, we see a shift. There you need stronger architectural design skills.
Okay, explain that more.
Think of it like planning the blueprint for a house. Instead of just laying bricks, writing individual lines of code, You're deciding where the walls go, how the systems connect,
The overall structure.
the overall structure, yeah.
Yeah.
How different parts of the software fit together, defining clear boundaries, clear interfaces between modules, thinking about long-term maintainability, scalability, less about the individual lines, more about the big picture design.
Okay, that makes sense. And for Cline, it sounds like we circle back to needing those fundamental computer science principles.
Exactly. A good grasp of operating systems, how they work, how they interact with your code, and those lower-level programming concepts.
A different kind of deep understanding.
Precisely. Understanding these required skills, it naturally leads us to the question of, well, how do you actually learn this stuff in the context of these tools?
Right, the learning resources.
Let's look at what's available for each platform.
Okay. For Cursor, it looks like its rapid growth has really fostered an active community, which is great.
Yeah, community is huge.
That means you'll likely find a lot of user-generated content tutorials, forum discussions, people sharing tips, tricks, cool use cases. Their official documentation is also apparently continuously being updated and improved, which is always a good sign.
Definitely.
That strong community support seems like a real accelerator for learning, especially if you hit a snag or want to see how others are using it creatively.
Yeah, absolutely. Having that network helps you get unstuck faster.
It really does. I remember when I was learning a new framework a while back, those community forums were an absolute lifesaver. Sounds like Cursor's fostering something similar.
Yeah. Now, what's interesting here is the contrast again with Windsurf. Their approach seems more formal,
How so?
likely reflecting its focus on maybe larger teams, enterprise users perhaps. They seem to have invested in structured, comprehensive documentation, detailed manuals,
Okay.
video tutorials walking through specific features, even formal training courses designed for team onboarding.
So, very organized, but maybe less spontaneous community help.
Exactly. It's a very thorough approach, but the community aspect doesn't seem quite as prominent or as, discoverable as it is with Cursor.
Got it. And then we have Slulinon, which unfortunately sounds like it might be a bit behind the curve on readily available learning resources.
That's the impression, yeah.
Yeah.
The official documentation tends to be quite technical, often assuming you already have significant background knowledge and system-level stuff.
Right, not for beginners.
Definitely not. Community support appears more limited, and finding comprehensive step-by-step tutorials can be, well, a real challenge. It seems heavily geared towards those very self-directed learners, people comfortable with a more independent, less guided learning journey.
Piecing things together themselves.
Exactly. Which raises an important question for anyone considering Cline. Are you comfortable with that? With a more solitary learning experience where you might have to dig around, connect dots from different sources, rely heavily on your existing expertise.
Because the hand-holding just isn't there like it might be for the others.
Right. The structured resources simply aren't as readily available.
Okay, so let's pull back and look at the bigger picture here. What does all this mean for the core skills that you as a developer really need to focus on moving forward? It sounds like the job itself is shifting significantly.
Absolutely. The traditional view, the developer spending most of their time just cranking out lines of code.
Yeah.
That's evolving rapidly.
Because AI is getting better at the routine stuff?
Increasingly capable, yeah. Handling many of those routine, repetitive coding tasks.
Yeah.
So if we connect this to the bigger picture, those higher-level skills become even more critical.
Like what?
Complex problem solving. Critical thinking, really being able to evaluate different approaches, understand trade-offs, and clear communication. These are becoming absolutely central to the developer role.
So it's no longer just about knowing the syntax of, say, Python or Java.
Much less so. It's more about being able to analyze complex problems from a high level. Design effective, efficient solutions that leverage what AI can do.
Okay.
And then critically evaluate the code the AI produces. Does it meet the requirements? Is it high quality? Is it maintainable? Secure?
That requires a deeper understanding of software engineering principles, right? Architectural patterns.
Exactly. You need that solid foundation more than ever. And let's not underestimate communication skills in this new world. Well, you need to clearly articulate your requirements to the AI through good prompting. You need to explain your design decisions, the why behind them, to other team members, maybe stakeholders.
Right, especially if they aren't using the AI tools themselves.
And collaborate effectively across teams. That ability to translate, sometimes fuzzy business needs into clear technical specs that an AI can work with, that's going to be incredibly valuable.
It's almost like the AI is becoming this really capable but maybe less experienced junior developer on the team.
That's a great analogy.
And you, the human developer, are stepping more into that senior architect or lead role.
Yes. Guiding the overall direction, ensuring the quality, the coherence of the final product, making those key high-level design and technology decisions.
That's a powerful way to think about it.
It really reframes the whole role, doesn't it? This leads us to the idea of, well, reframing the developer's role in the age of AI.
It's not about replacement.
Not at all. It's about transformation. From pure code generator to something broader, more strategic. Architect, innovative problem solver, forward-thinking technology strategist.
So instead of spending hours on, say, boilerplate code or routine tests,
You strategically leverage AI to handle that efficiently.
right, which frees up your time, your mental energy.
Exactly. To focus on higher-level innovation, exploring new technologies, really understanding the underlying business needs, the user needs.
You become more of a conductor, maybe,
I like that. Conducting this orchestra of human ingenuity and artificial intelligence.
to build more powerful solutions than either could do alone.
Precisely. But it requires a mindset shift. You have to fully embrace AI, not as some kind of threat, but as a powerful tool, an amplifier for your abilities.
Boosting your productivity, your impact.
Dramatically. And the skills that will really set you apart, ensure your continued relevance and success. They're those uniquely human capabilities.
Creativity.
Your inherent creativity in solving problems, your nuanced critical thinking when evaluating complex situations,
Communication again.
your ability to communicate effectively, build relationships, technical, non-technical colleagues. These are the things proving much harder for AI to replicate.
And they'll be crucial for staying relevant, for driving innovation.
Absolutely essential. Which brings us to maybe a final provocative thought for you, the listener.
Okay.
As you consider these tools, Windsurf, Cursor, Cline, think beyond just the code they spit out.
Look deeper.
Look deeper. Think about the learning process for each one. What kind of support is actually available to you on that journey? And, most importantly, how will strategically using these technologies ultimately shape your skills, redefine your role, and enhance your long-term value in this really exciting age of AI-powered development?